C-Ship is a professional training designed for professionals in the cultural and creative industries. It is designed by ISHEC, which is a business school based in Brussels in response to the current crisis under the framework of the United Nations International Year for the Creative Economy and Sustainable Development. It is accessible to cultural and creative industries, but actually for 5 specific profiles related to cinema and audiovisual production, cultural institutions and museums, built heritage, adaptive reuse, performing arts, and design. We aim at providing 2 different typologies of courses for individuals, but also for organizations. We just launched the first action learning training for cultural entrepreneurs. It will take place between the 1st of March and the 9th of June. And it is structured in 24 half days. The action learning training pillars revolves around the business and operation model innovation, exponential technologies, ecosystem and partnerships building, sustainability and positive impacts, and internal and external governance. It will take place online, and it's composed of 17 action learning sessions, 6 coaching sessions, 1 intermediate and 1 final presentation, and 1 networking event. Registration is open until the 25th of February. So based on the 5 pillars of C-Ship, we already hosted 3 webinars. Today's webinar will be about technology, exponential technologies for cultural and creative industries. And our last webinar will take place on the 22nd of February, and it will be about sustainability and positive impacts. Our first speaker today, I'm very pleased to present Agnes Michalczyk. Agnes will be speaking about Al Khalifa projects, augmented reality, and urban art and heritage projects. She's a visual artist living and working in Cairo. She graduated from the Academy of Visual Arts in Leipzig and taught between 2012 and 2019 at the Faculty of Applied Sciences and Arts at the German University in Cairo. Her work is exploring the urban space of Cairo through female perspective, focusing on the city and its narratives, real or imagined. She has been using street art to create images interrupting and questioning the realities present in the streets of Egypt in terms of gender norms and how the design of urban spaces reflect and reinforce it. Recently, her work also explored issues of heritage and women as preservation of tradition in positive and negative sense, while exploring the potentials of using augmented reality tools to visualize the connections between the remembered, the imagined, and the real through intersecting virtual reality and action urban space. She explores the layers of experience each part of the city carries buried within.
So my name is Agnes, and I want to talk about the project implemented in Al Khalifa area in historic Cairo. And a little bit of a background on the projects and on the area. So Al Khalifa is an area very close to the citadel in the historic core of Cairo. So it has a lot of very important historic monuments, also shrines of Sufi saints. However, it's not as visited or as known as other parts of historic Cairo, like for instance the Khan el-Khalili area or Sharia al-Mu'az. And when I started working with an NGO, a local NGO called Mugawra, who's based in Al Khalifa, the very first project was the map. So you can see the little map seen from the Ibn Tulun Mosque. And the goal of this project was to give a little bit more awareness about everything that is present in the Khalifa street, to the visitors who come to visit Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque. Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque is the oldest existing mosque in Cairo, and a lot of foreign and local tourists come to visit it. And the map aimed at introducing them to the area. So out of this project came two other projects, a little bit more personal. It was a mural in a local Ahwa. In the black and white picture, you can see Mustafa, the owner of the cafe. And the second picture on the right is Safinat Nuh, so Noah's Ark. And while I was working on these pictures, what was really important for me, so I come from painting, and which is a very solitary kind of artistic practice. And working in Cairo in street art made me very much more aware of the communication aspect of street art and the awareness of the community. And as I was working in Khalifa, it was really important for me to work with images that connected with the people who were seeing those images, who are seeing those images there. So there every day. So I was working with images from Geir Anderson's book, which Geir Anderson was a English officer who collected stories from the area and had them illustrated by a local artist. So these images are very well known to the people from the area. And by using some kind of visuals from these stories and connecting them with my own drawings from the area, I was kind of trying to create layered images that were speaking to the rich history of the area, to the mythology, the legends that have been told in the place since, hundreds of years, and connecting to the present, to the realities of people living in the area. So there is this idea of layers, and out of this project, I was, after creating the murals that I just shown, I was asked repeatedly, I was offered an opportunity to work again, and I didn't really have an idea. And what else could I do, or what kind of how could I push this? And around that, like maybe 2-3 years ago, I have been acquainted with the augmented reality technology. And out of this came the idea of creating augmented murals. So murals that have a story, a little bit stories, maybe a little too much said, but that have an augmented layer of a video that can be viewed through the mobile phone. I've been working with the Artivive app because it creates a very good user experience, and it's also very accessible. So I think all of the smartphones that I have seen, also from the people. Oh, sorry, this video is not very well. So the local people were also able to see, which is not the case with all augmented reality apps. I've been working with Adobe Area. I will show you a few other projects, and this has not been very well. Sorry. For that, it was not accessible for all the phones. So Artivive is really good because it allows everyone to see, to access the work. And augmented reality, so these projects are 5 murals which are placed around Al-Kohya Mosque, creating kind of a little looped tour, very close to also Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque. So it's very, you can see these murals from partially from one another. So here you see the big one on the right and the bigger one on the left. And what I really appreciated about augmented reality is that it allows me to add another layer to my work, connecting the past a little bit more with the future through those applications, and add the layer of color and animation, because one of the things that a lot of people from the area wanted or wished for in the work was more color, and I usually work very black and white. So seeing those images through the phone being colorful and gave a lot of joy, and I got a lot of positive feedback for that. And it also has this kind of like treasure hunt aspect, which really engages people. So a lot of people like seeing one person looking at someone viewing through the AR straight away wants to engage and see for themselves, and then they go to the next project, and so on and so forth. And the other thing that was really important for me was that working in this area, which has such a rich history, but is quite neglected right now, creating this project, which in terms of like what's happening in Cairo right now, is quite innovative, like it hasn't been done before, is also creating a sense of pride for having interesting new innovative projects happening in the area and people coming to check them out from outside. There's a lot of also it's quite shareable on, let's say, social media. So a lot of people got engaged and interested in coming to the area, finding these murals and seeing it. So this was the project that I wanted to show in the biggest part. And for me, the outlook for the coming projects is I have been working with Adobe Aero in creating three-dimensional sculptures, which is a little bit more of a personal project, less, let's say, engaged and engaging and ready. But sculptures that connect to the architecture and the motifs of Islamic architecture and the sites in Cairo. And sorry. And on the other way, working with a more immersive experiences. In 2 weeks, I'm having a projection with storytelling with the Shirin Al Ansari, who's a storyteller. She's going to be telling stories from Al Khalifa area, and I'm going to be doing live animation on historical site. So this is kind of like another media project that is going towards like a more creating more immersive experiences in Islamic Cairo. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Agnes, for this very interesting presentation related to urban regeneration of a neglected neighborhood through arts and augmented reality. I found it very interesting the fact that you were relating to existing, actually, artworks which people familiarized with, but you tried to connect with their current situation and make them more colorful and playful and accessible for people to engage with in social media and in real life. It triggers lots of questions related also to how the community perceived it, how it engaged with it, and how they accepted the use of these sculptures in a religious shrine or mosque, if I understood correctly.
So the 3D sculptures, as I said, it wasn't a project that was shared publicly. It's something that I'm kind of developing now. As for the murals, it was very well received, actually, for the community. And as I say, I think that augmented reality and these apps are really good because they are very accessible. Everyone has a smartphone, and even like, as I say, working with the tools that are kind of accessible for even, let's say, lower price or lower range like smartphones makes this accessible for everyone. And I think that people were like, this was a big gain for me from the project, that I saw local people showing it, sharing it. There was one guy who's a driver from the area, and he was sending me TikTok that he did using with the videos. So it really worked. And I also want to say that for me, the important thing is to really engage the local community. I don't want to create work that is only accessible for foreign visitors or is only shared or interesting for foreign or let's say, upper class Egyptians. So yeah, I consider this on this aspect quite a successful project.
Thank you very much, Agnes. Our second speaker today is Davide Pantile. He'll be speaking about new technologies and tools for immersive and engaging visitor experiences in museums, the evolution of the visitor actor. He is project coordinator of New Media Business Unit in ETT. And after his degree in computer engineering at Genoa University, he joined ETT in 2002, where he gained a significant experience as project manager and business analyst, dealing with customers and suppliers and coordinating staff involved in the projects, in the smart government area particularly. Since 2011, Davide works in the new media, where he deals with designs, offers, responses to tenders, preparation of R&D projects. I would like now to give the floor to Davide, and I imagine he will be making also connections to what you also referred to in terms of user engagement. Right, Davide? The floor is yours.
Okay, hello everybody, thank you, Ruba. Agnes' presentation was very interesting and is related on a technology, augmented reality, that also is used by our company. My presentation is more general and not focused on a specific set of projects like Agnes. And as I'll share some slides. As you can see in the title, I would like to briefly present our experience from our company, ETT. We are an ICT company, about the use of immersive and multimedia interactive technologies in order to get an immersive experience and enhance engagement in museum visitors, and so the evolution from a visitor to visit actor. Okay, ETT is a company based in Italy. At the moment, we are more than 250 people working on these three main business areas. Today, we are focused on experience design. So the use of immersive, interactive, multimedia tools, hardware and software, applied to culture, tourism, but also education, marketing, corporate communication, retail, where the main focus is for each of these area to enhance and offer a better experience to our customer, to our museum visitor, to our client. So what is our approach about the application of these innovative tools in cultural heritage? The starting point is that from the man of the road, from a general point of view, often museums are seen as boring places. And so boredom is the main, most dangerous enemy for a museum. What is the goal? That the museum must, if a museum wants to attract visitors, must surprise them. So what are our guidelines? To use innovative technologies to enhance visitor engagement and interaction. To give visitors an active role, so transforming them from visitors to visit actor, in which they have an active and first-person role. And so the goal is to define an immersive museum in which our vivid actor is absorbed into the storyline, is fully into the story that the museum has to tell. How do we reach this goal? With interactivity, with multisensory experience, with personalized contents. We have clear that we have a wide range of targets, from children to adults and we have to address our target with different levels of understanding. We have to offer different content level. An important issue is to offer new content available when our visitors return to our museum. Very important from the museum's owners is to assure progressive technological and content upgrading. And very important, in my opinion, is that not the technology, but the message come first. Our applications has to put over the exhibition message, and the technology is not useful to use the most recent and up-to-date technology tool. The technological choice has to be driven by the message that our museums has to convey. So, using, as in Agnes' presentation was explained, instruments like augmented and virtual reality, we can amplificate the experience for our vivid actor. What are the tools that we use to reach our audience, our visitors? As you can see in the list on the right of this slide, immersive exhibition, interactive tools, mobile application, augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. And we focused in the last 2 years, due to the pandemic, a lot on virtual events, virtual museum visits, and also tools like video mapping, gamification, touchscreen interfaces, sensor, hands-on exhibition, digital signage, and so on. We applied this technology both to public and corporate clients. So here on the left, you can see some of the more important museum and cultural institutions that with which we cooperated in the last 12 years, starting from, surely you know, Cenacolo Vinciano from Leonardo in Milan, Musei Capitolini in Rome, and so on. But just to give you a more clear idea of what I'm saying, I will show you a very short video reel that better explain what is our job as a technical partner of a museum and cultural institution. Okay. Just to give you in a minute an idea of what we do for culture and tourism.
Thank you very much, Davide. And the video was quite explanatory indeed of how you managed to provide a tailored, immersive experience to every client, let's say in cultural tourism, and the fact that you put your audience at the center of the game by trying to engage with every person with different content and different segmentation of the offer. It was very interesting, the conversation we had before the beginning of the webinar, actually, on the fact that you've been following many tenders lately because of the recovery fund, and how public authorities, but also private entities, are trying more and more to go for immersive experiences. So something maybe we can come back to at the end of the webinar. Our third speaker today is Adrien Joly. He'll be speaking about technology for cultural and creative industries, digitalizations of museum access. After a training as a historian with a master's degree in arts and culture, Adrien began his career working for the Royal Pavilions Visitor Service in England in 2003. He then joined the team of the Château de Versailles during the presidency of Jean-Jacques Allegan, where he was in charge of sponsorship. In 2012, he started working for the Mucem team as responsible for communication and sponsorship. And since 2014, he is head of the Department for Development, which concentrates the museum's own resource activities together with the institutional relations. Welcome, Adrien, and we look forward to learn about your museum's digitalization of access new strategy.
Hello, everyone. So I'm working for the museum you can see on the picture. It is a Mucem, which is based in Marseille, and we are in the process of launching a new way to give access to our visitor. So it's just quickly to understand, we are so based in Marseille. It's a national museum, and every year we welcome about 1.5 million visitors. So it works quite well. We were quite a popular museum, I would say, and the particularity of our museum is that you can see on the picture You can visit the fort, you can visit the garden, you can see on the background, and you can visit the main building, and you only need a ticket when you want to enter the gallery. During the pandemic, I've been thinking a lot about how things are changing, and I was and I could realize that our ticket system was very old-fashioned in a way, that we haven't changed much since the beginning of the history of museum, which means that basically when you have to enter the museum, you have to find the ticket office, and you have to queue and pay your ticket to have a little piece of paper, and then you have your voucher, and then you can enter the gallery. And if you compare this to what's happening for train services, for example, I don't know if you've been to France, but you might have heard that we have SNCF. In fact, when you want to get a train ticket today, you simply download the application, and you get your ticket very quickly. In a few seconds, you have your own tickets, and you never ever again. I mean, you would queue. You have less and less people queuing in the train station, because everyone goes like that, and it's fast, and it's just the way it is everywhere except in museums. So I was thinking we could really try to change that, and to that was one. There was two observations. That was the first one, and the second one was that I could realize that we are not a museum for tourists, because 80% of our visitors come from France, and half of our visitors come from Marseille. So in fact, they're really, and we know that it is a main museum. We have about 9 different exhibitions every year, and our visitors they come back, and in fact we have a lot of faithful, loyal visitors. We call them repetitive visitors. And I was thinking, in a way, we could try to find a service for them where in fact they don't have to go through the ticket office, and also they can register and become a member. And I was thinking, some museums do that, but generally what they do is that they make you pay for 1 year. So at the beginning of the year, you pay quite a big amount of money. If you're rich, it's not a big amount, but sometimes 40 euros, 60 euros, for some people, it's not always, it's still something to a little investment, we say. So I was thinking we could do just like Netflix in a way, or Spotify, and try to do something, a monthly paid membership program. And that's what we launched. So we are now working with on the application, and it's not for tomorrow because it takes a bit of time. We should hopefully have it for next summer, and we'll be among the first museum. I haven't heard of another museum that has this system. Maybe there is, but I've looked at it and I haven't found one. So more or less, it will be an application like the one that's might be something that looks like that. So you download the application, and you have some basic information on what you can see. And if you, let's for an example, we had the Jeff Koons exhibition. So if you from the application, you can also listen to the audio guide. You have also some videos. So in a way, the application helps you to prepare your visit, but also will help accompany you during your visit. And also you have your pass. So once you have a very efficient and very quick way of getting to your pass, just as quick as when you register when you want to have this bike for everyone, or I can't remember how we say it in English. Sorry, the trottinette, Lime, or all this stuff you can see you can get in any cities of Europe or in the world, and in a few seconds you have your registered and you have your pass. So that would be exactly the same system. So you download the application, you give your credit card number, and you register for a pass on a monthly basis. And once you have that, you can directly enter the gallery, and you can come as many times as you want, of course. Plus, you have a lot of other advantages. You can also access to our cinema. You can access to our lectures, and everything that takes place in the museum. You can get it for free as much as you want. And also, you can get some discount to the restaurants in the museum, but also we'll try to negotiate some discount to other museums around in Marseille or in the cities nearby, or theater. So it's a real pass that gives you a lot of things, and it's only and because you pay per month, it's only cost you €3 per month. So it's a very low amount of money, and once you have this, that's when you enter the gallery. So you have a controller access. So it's a RFID system. So it beeps if it's okay, it gets green, and then you enter the gallery. And with your application, you would use your guide if you want. And also, when it will be also, of course, a way for us to communicate with our faithful audience, because now we know today that we have a lot of people that come back again and who loves the museum, but we have no possibilities to contact them. So now we will have their data, we will know who they are, what they want, what they would like, and we will be able to adapt our communication to our audience to deliver the right message at the right moments. And also to find out among our visitors, to develop some new programs, if we need their help, because we want to buy a piece of art for the museum and we want to launch a big public funding, so we'll be able to use the data to contact them and to ask for help. So that gives, of course, a lot of perspective in the long term, and hopefully we should be able to launch this program maybe this summer. I think we should be okay. So that's the kind of notification you can get when we will open a new exhibition. And so we hope that we try to estimate the potential of numbers of this community, and we think in around maybe in 10 years, if we work well, we might have something like 40,000 members, maybe more. And of course, for the museum income, it's something very, very good, because it gives us the possibility to have some secured, I would say, income, because at the moment we know that we have a lot of incomes when we have Jeff Koons exhibitions. We know that we will sell a lot of tickets, but then when we have a more complicated exhibition, something more obscure, we know that suddenly we won't gain a lot of income from our tickets office. So that's with memberships like that, we will hopefully have something more secure in the long term. So that's it, I think. It was a very quick, very short presentation. Oops.
Thank you very much, Adrien, for launching this very innovative and inspiring tool, actually. I could already see Peter engaging with lots of questions. Maybe I will leave the floor directly to him to address the question to you. I found it really very interesting, the fact that your reflection started from your local context, how people locally were engaging with the museum and how to boost and reinforce their relationship with the museum both ways. Not only how to access your content, but also how to contribute to it and how to be always in constant contact about your news, but also for your calls for help. So thank you very much, really, for this, for sharing this innovative project, and I look forward to seeing the app running and functioning, and to visit your museum as soon as possible.